Well, the number of domestic violence homicides in Oklahoma decreased slightly in 2022, but the number still remains among the highest in the nation. This is according to the annual report released by the Oklahoma Domestic Violence Fatality Review Board. Joining us live now this morning to go over the findings is Oklahoma Attorney General Gentner Drummond. Good morning, and thank you so much for being here with us.
Good morning, my pleasure.
Happy to have you here. I want to go over some numbers here from the report.
Sure.
So let me get these numbers right here. The report showed that Oklahoma averaged 114 domestic homicides between 2019 and 2022. That's compared to the average of 90 between 2011 and 2018. So let's go over some of the takeaways that you got from this report.
Well, I mean, it's horrific that we would murder that many of our partners in the state of Oklahoma. That puts us number 2 in the nation for domestic violence deaths against partners, and it's not a top 10 number I want to be a part of.
Okay, so you said they're second in the nation for domestic related homicides. What is happening? What's going on here?
Well, I think, we need to prioritize. I mean, the purpose of the Fatality Review Board is to inform legislators and caregivers and the public that we have a problem, and we need to elevate. For too many years, we diminished the voice of the victim. We need to augment that voice, and that's the purpose of this board, and the purpose of me being here is that victims of domestic violence have alternatives. And inside my office, we have a host of remarkable professionals, and throughout the state, we have people to support and give you the opportunity to get out of the situation, 1. And 2, we need to aggressively prosecute domestic abusers.
Now, was there anything in this report that really stuck out to you or really surprised you? No,
I mean, it's heartbreaking that in 2022 we murdered 105 partners. That's ridiculous, and we have to do something about that. And there's so many components to this domestic violence, and it doesn't discriminate. It affects our most affluent households and our poorest households, irrespective of nationality, background, race, education. Domestic violence is a plague in Oklahoma, and I'm elevating that voice.
Okay, so part of this review here, it also comes with some recommendations for the legislature, right?
Sure.
So what are some of the things that we're looking at to try and change things in the state?
For example, if I were to batter you, I would be charged more aggressively than if I were to batter my wife. So we need to equalize the crime, the punishment for the crime. So we've given a pass to domestic violence abusers in the past. They need to be held accountable at the highest level, 1. 2, it needs to be an 85% crime, meaning if you're convicted for 8 years, you have to spend 85% of that 8-year period, not get out early on good behavior. Similarly, we need to elevate the punishment for domestic violence with strangulation. We know empirically strangulation is just one small step from murder. And so if a partner is going to strangle his partner, he needs to be held at a much higher level. And then lastly, if you commit domestic abuse with a firearm, that's at one level, but there are other ways to injure your partner, knife, other blunt instruments. They need to be held accountable.
So we are in the legislative session right now. Any bills in particular that you guys are really pushing and standing behind?
We have numerous bills that are going through the committee process and on the floor this week to elevate this issue and hold accountable the abuser.
Okay, so when we talk about domestic violence, oftentimes people think it's between a man and a woman, and that a man commits the crime against the woman, but men can also be victims of domestic violence.
Certainly.
Talk about that a little bit.
No, certainly there is a percentage of victims that are male, elderly, children, and the like, but the vast majority are female victims, and we need to protect those victims. And another issue that's going before the legislature right now is the Victims of Crime Act. It's a federal act that funds our victim services. We anticipate that the funding for 2020, between 23 and 24, will go down 41%. That's about $16.1 million for Oklahoma. So we've asked the legislature to directly appropriate that $16.1 million. And I've joined with 41 attorneys general, elevating this issue to the federal government to increase the funding. And I'm very proud that I was joined by the tribes of Oklahoma and the District Attorney's Council doing the same.
Now, these numbers, they are high. Do you think that they could actually be higher? Because oftentimes people don't come forward and report these types of situations.
No, I grew up in a domestic violence household and it was never reported. And I anticipate that many of your viewers have experienced or witnessed domestic violence and it just wasn't reported. And that was an era where we were quiet. And to the viewers, you need to elevate your voice. You need to let us know so that we can make systemic changes to society.
And that is my next question for anyone who's watching and is maybe in a situation like that, or they know someone who's going through a domestic violence situation, domestic violence household. What is your advice to them? What resources are available to Oklahomans?
Oklahoma City has a remarkable program through Palomar. So Palomar is there to help, and they'll get you out of there. Likewise, YWCA, for the Tulsa viewers, that's going to be Family Safety Center and the like. And then there's satellites throughout the state in major metropolitan areas to give help to the victim.
Okay, and now I know there's a lot of information here in this report that was just released. Is there anything that I missed that you think really stands out that we need to talk about?
No, I think it's tragic, and the funding needs to be there. We so often discount those needs, but there's resources available. For example, we're making recommendations to the 911 Management Training Center so that the first line of defense is often that 911 call, and they need to be trauma aware, trauma trained to tease out from the victim the needs that they might have immediately, so that when we respond via EMSA, fire, or police, that we're informed and can then address the situation.
Okay, and we do have that report listed on our website as well in the As Seen On section, and we always have links posted as well for resources available. Attorney General Drummond, we want to thank you again for your time. Keep us updated on any efforts made to help prevent domestic violence in the state, and again, we appreciate you.
Thank you.
Of course.